Hi, Jeff. Good to
Hey,
see
everybody.
you. Looks like it's really cold wherever you are, but
It
we're
is.
so excited. We're so excited to have you join us today. It's nice to see you without all the masks on. The last time we saw you was at DEF CON. And so we've set up a few questions for you before we have you announce our winner later on in the show. But let's get right to it. Can you talk to us a little bit about how you'd like to see the space sector collaborate with DEF CON in the future?
Yeah, so I'm super excited by the work Hackasat is doing, because you're really pioneering a way of thinking about sort of CTF in space. And if you think about how DEF CON has grown, we provide this sort of stage and platform and quality filter and some initial inspiration in the audience, but we don't know how to run a satellite CTF, right? So we're dependent. We need to find really awesome partners like yourself. So now that we know that you can pull it off, that it's possible, we can start thinking bigger and larger. And if you think what's happening over the next 10 years, I would not be surprised if people try to put micro data centers in space to support other, orbital data processing. I mean, it's just, we're at the very beginning of this environment. And so you might think, well, I understand orbital, I understand uplinks. It's like, but it's going to change so much. And so DEF CON wants to be there, and we want to be part of this revolution. So if you have new ideas, we want to support you in all the players.
Well, yeah, I think that's awesome. Hackasat is we're so excited to lend a hand in that vision. And I also know the Aerospace Village is excited to continue bringing CTFs and workshops and hands-on activities to bring in those like novice and intermediate folks as well. So we're hoping that efforts like this broaden the reach and collaboration with industry as well.
Well, and it's scary how fast teams catch on. I bet people who are noobs on your last year's contest saw a huge improvement in their skills in just 1 year. It's different, but it's not that different. And I bet they love a challenge. I'm really curious to see how all the teams did.
Yeah, it's funny you should say that. So in our qualification event the first year, we had a lot of players. Our qualification event this year, we had less players, but more players scored points versus last year. So right to your point, we saw the quality go up, knowledge go up, and that's really what our goal was: cyber and space communities to bring together to care about global cybersecurity in our space systems.
Yeah, big sorting, right? They figure out who the teammates are that are into it, and I bet by year 3 you're going to have some pretty advanced teams in there.
Yeah, we're excited about it. So DEF CON's hitting its 30th anniversary in August next year. It's super exciting. Everyone's looking forward to it. The brand guide was released. It's all the throwback is amazing, especially if you grew up in that era. So can you tell us, do you have anything, big things in store? Who's doing the CTF? Are you allowed to let on?
No, we've picked the CTF organizer. We need to talk to them more before we tell them that we've selected them. Okay. And we figure for the first year, new organizer, 30th anniversary, it's not going to be a all on super Order of the Overflow finals. It's probably going to be more fun for the first year to help the organizers get their feet underneath it and come up with a couple new ideas. And then by 31, it'll be probably back to full power. So we're really focusing on community for 30. The theme is sort of homecoming. We just want to really celebrate that we've gotten through COVID. We've been together for so long, and just really sort of a community celebration. And so I think that'll be great.
Yeah, no, it sounds excellent. I'm glad you, obviously you're thinking through this stuff. So we're excited. But looking at the evolution, where you started to where you are now, do you see like anything, what do you think the next iteration in 10 years of DEF CON, what does it look like?
Well, so, I mean, when we started, we didn't really even start DEF CON Capture the Flag, but when it organically evolved and it was just people attacking our network, and we have to channel this energy somehow because they're just trashing the network. So it turned into a game, and that's how Capture the Flag began. And so now it's sort of like, well, there's not really that organic construction anymore because we've been doing it for so long. And so I'm always looking to see, well, where is there something that's sort of organically growing? And we saw that a bit with the biohacking village. I mean, the first year there was a biohacking, it was like one guy with energy drinks at a table. I'm not kidding. By the next year, it was a big group. And by the third year, it was completely out of control. And so I'm always on the lookout to see where we can plant seeds. And I think what's happening over the next 10 years is that, good or bad, policy is invading, right? The stuff we're doing has political implications, and because of that, it impacts business and governance. And because of that, governance is getting involved, right? Policymakers are starting to show up more. We're starting to try to get them involved, because I figure if we don't have a seat at the table, it'll get done to us. We need to participate, so we're part of the conversation. So I think over 10 years, we'll see more of that. We might see this continuation of some more remote kind of virtual participation, but fascinatingly, we don't get that much participation online. People want to see people face to face. We'll get some remote participation from people in other countries that can't travel to the States, but really, they want to see each other. So I don't think that the in-person experience in the next 10 years is going away. If anything, it'll just grow or evolve to be a little bit more helping you find your community, right? Find your posse, your crew. And I think it'll be a little bit more international. And so when I talk to other people in other countries, they're constantly asking DEF CON, come do something in our country. Oh, we'll explore that. Kind of like what we did in China, but that's not happening anytime soon in China again. So maybe we'll find some other place to go, or some other way to take DEF CON hackers in the community and bring it to some other place, like we did for the film festival, Tribeca Film Festival in New York, we did once. I'm excited. You know, every time our crew goes somewhere else, we just have a great time, and the energy and the ideas are flowing. So I'm really excited to see, though, what your community's done.
Well, it's funny, that's kind of where you went. And I'll add two things here. So we, like US Space Force, US Air Force, there's typically this like stigma that, you know, DOD is maybe bad, whatever, but we really enjoy doing this. We enjoy bringing this and being such big stakeholders in the space industry. We have technology to bring to that community that's not necessarily accessible on eBay. You know, we even chatted about that before DEF CON. Like, can we even get our hands on some stuff and just bring it for the floor, for the village, for people to get their hands on? So we hope to continue to bring that value, and we also—
Well, the industry's not doing it. They didn't do it. It was up to you or another group, an outside group, to do it. So yeah, I applaud that, because otherwise it probably wouldn't get done. Boeing's probably not thinking about this, how to engage this community, but you are.
Yeah, so hopefully we see that shift a little in the future too. And then on your policy note, I had written down a question about that, because we're really interested in how we can take any lessons you've already learned. You know, Steve, you can talk a little bit about our experience in the voter hacking sandbox. We went to RSA's voter hacking sandbox right before DEF CON got canceled. Safe mode happened, DEF CON safe mode. So we didn't do it in person at the voter hacking village that year, but we learned so much about voting security. And obviously with the past election and all sorts of this in the trades recently, do you have any insights on how we can help influence policy? What are the right procedures or tactics? And maybe there is an example out there. I throw the voting village.
Yeah,
because
I just think there's not a lot of nuance when it comes to people talking about space. It seems very black and white. There's a satellite, there's a rocket. And every time China or Russia does an ASAT test and takes out a satellite, you see a little bit more conversation around the policy around space debris and lack of sort of regulation or treaty in space. Maybe there needs to be a space treaty, but there's not a lot of nuance. Like, for example, when Russia builds a satellite and is planning to basically physically attack another satellite, like just mosey their satellite right up next to it and clamp on. The designers, have they even thought about a defense against that? Is that even in the conversation? And I think all these what would industrial espionage look like in space? And I'm starting to think this is like James Bond 1964 territory, when the rocket goes up and it swallows another satellite. Well, all your secrets are gone, right? Just because it's in space does not mean it's untouchable, you know, physically. And so I think, imagine not just the Tamper Evident Village, but Tamper Evident Village in space. You know, you have a lot of different disciplines overlapping that I'm just excited to see where it goes once people wake up to the fact that it's multidimensional.
Yeah.
All good points. And I think just to go back to your initial comment about like the in-person, we were able to touch and feel the voting machines and really understand, yeah, you can hack a voting machine by the piece of paper you put in it. You don't have to like do any of the electronic
Yeah.
things, and it's impactful. And that's why I think you're finding, and we all feel like we want to be in person and face to face, because the impact is much greater than the virtual world. Certainly we can be productive and maybe more efficient sometimes virtually, but the impact is a little less. And that's why we love what you're doing, and we want to keep participating. And we're looking forward to do it in any way possible, especially when it comes to cybersecurity in space.
Fantastic.
Yeah. Well, I think we're ready to get started announcing the winners. So we're gonna keep you on the line.
Okay.
I just want to say thank you on behalf of the Space Force and the Air Force and all of the organizers. You know, like we're all just really excited to have you on the line and all your support in building this community and having the Aerospace Village. So thank you from all of us for joining from that cold outdoor weather you're in. And
this is the beautiful Northwest right here, the beautiful Northwest.
Oh, great. Okay, cool. Well, we agree. It is beautiful, but it might be chilly.
Yeah.
So with that, we'll see you here shortly to announce the first place winner. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Jeff.
DT.
Right on.